Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Sayyid al-Anbiya wal Mursaleen, Mawlana Muhammad wa ala alihi wa ashabihi ajma'in. If you can take a minute just to send salutations upon the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad kama sallaita ala Ibrahim wa ala ali Ibrahim innaka Hamidum Majid. Allahumma barik ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad kama barakta ala Ibrahim wa ala ali Ibrahim innaka Hamidum Majid. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي ربي زدني علما ربنا زدنا علما ربنا زدنا علما. ما بعد. Dear respected brothers, young friends, sisters who are listening from home, once again I'd like to greet you with the greetings of Islam, greetings of Jannah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Just a bit better, alhamdulillah. Just to kind of repeat on the last point of Hafiz Sab, he mentioned about sitting. It's actually one of the etiquettes of the majlis, of the gathering, that we try to sit together. Now, if somebody has a chronic back problem, which mashallah I'm sure most of you don't, because you're all fit and healthy young lads, if I can just request all the brothers to come to the middle. I can see a gap. I don't know, it's like it's like empty area and everybody's on the side. If young ones, Abdullah, Umar, تعال inshallah, تفضل. You can check your phone afterwards. If you guys can come to the middle, guys. Brothers on this side, please. You can come more to the middle. One of the etiquettes of the majlis is that we try to sit in the middle together. Inshallah, it'll create love amongst us. Jazakumullahu khaira. So last week, if you can just quickly jog, I know that we want to quickly get on. We started Surah Al-Baqarah. We started 2 weeks ago actually, and we just touched upon the last two ayat of the first ruku', which was إِنَّ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا سَوَاءٌ عَلَيْهِمْ أَأَنذَرْتَهُمْ أَمْ لَمْ تُنذِرْهُمْ لَا يُؤْمِنُونَ ختم الله على قلوبهم وعلى سمعهم وعلى أبصارهم غشاوة ولهم عذاب. Okay, those people who believe, it doesn't matter whether you warn them or not, there's no difference, right? They won't believe at all. Okay, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has sealed their hearts, right? And He's put a veil, a covering on their sight, on their eyesight, and for them will be a painful death, or a great, وَلَهُمْ عَذَابٌ عَظِيمٌ, will be a great punishment. So one of the main themes of the beginning of Surah Al-Baqarah, can anybody remember that we talked about the description of who? Which people? The believers, yeah, the muttaqeen, those people who are God conscious. The second group was who? The disbelievers, yeah? Okay, so the disbelievers. So about the believers, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has mentioned that وَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْمُفْلِحُونَ, that they are the successful ones. About the disbelievers, the kuffar, they're the ones who Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions that, as we mentioned just before, that for them there is a great punishment. Okay, now the next part, who do you think we're going to talk about? The munafiqun. Okay, the munafiqun, those people who deceive, those people who inshallah we will read that they said that they believe, right, but in reality they don't believe. Inshallah we'll recite some ayat first, and then we'll go through the translation and the tafsir and a bit of the explanation as well, inshallah. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ومن الناس من يقول آمنا بالله وباليوم الآخر وما هم بمؤمنين يخادعون الله والذين آمنوا وما يخدعون إلا أنفسهم وما يشعرون في قلوبهم مرض فزادهم الله مرضا ولهم عذاب أليم بما كانوا يكذبون. So if we go back to the 8th ayah, as it's mentioned here. So we've, just to recap again once more, we've talked about the believers. How does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, how does He address them, or how did He describe them? That they are the successful ones. Right? They will get Jannah. What is true success? Is that they will attain Jannah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us from amongst those who attain Jannah. Don't say Ameen. And those who disbelieve, right? The kuffar, the disbelievers, right? They disbelieve without knowing. Okay? But for them, right? For them, there is a painful punishment, a great punishment. We go on to now the description of the munafiqun as mentioned. وَمِنَ النَّاسِ مَنْ يَقُولُ آمَنَّا. And of the people who say, right? وَمِنَ النَّاسِ, from the people, مَنْ يَقُولُ آمَنَّا, those people who say, we believe, or we have believed, right? Billah, in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So they've said that they've believed, right? Now if people say that they believe, is that enough for us? If a person says, you know, I believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? Is that enough? Okay, from our perspective, we cannot judge. If somebody has said La ilaha illallah, they've said the kalima La ilaha illallah, for us, really, we believe them. But in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? If we carry on, we say آمنا بالله وباليوم الآخر. So they not just in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they're saying that they believe in the last day, right? In Yawm al-Qiyamah. However, the reality is وَمَا هُمْ بِمُؤْمِنِينَ. Although they've said they believe, reality is وَمَا هُمْ بِمُؤْمِنِينَ, but they do not, or they are not believers, right? How does that even make sense? That they say that they believe, in reality they don't believe. How can that even make sense? Okay, this was the munafiq, this was the hypocrites. And yes, we've talked about loosely translating it as hypocrites, but this is one trait of it. Okay, this is one trait of nifaq. Nifaq, you can't really fully translate it as hypocrite, because there's more than that. Innal munafiqina fi ad-darki al-asfali min an-nar. The munafiqeen, they will be at the lowest of Jahannam. So they will be worse than even the kuffar, those people who disbelieve. They will be worse than the mushrikeen. They will be worse than those polytheists, those people who ascribe partners to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But the munafiqeen, they will have the worst of it. That they will be at the bottom. And then the fire, right? The fire itself, right? Where's the hottest part of the fire? It's right at the bottom, where it starts off from, right? The base, the Jahannam. Imagine the bottom of Jahannam. Imagine how hot it's going to be. They will get the worst of it. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala save us from this. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala save us from such a moment. We give just to understand the ayat as well. Show the ayah. Just at the end of. So innal munafiqina fi ad-darkil asfali min an-nar. Indeed, the hypocrites will be in the depths, the lowest, right, of the fire. Right, they will be at the lowest. Right? وَلَن تَجِدَ لَهُمْ نَصِيرًا. And there will be no one there to help them. And we'll understand as well why this. What is the description of the munafiqun, and why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about them in such detail as well. Why there's so many ayat within the Quran itself. Inshallah, we will understand this as we progress through the journey through the Quran. If you can go back to the 8th ayah. Sorry, we're going to the 9th one now. Can everybody see that? So that's one description. Remember this. So the munafiqun, what are they? They are people who say that they believe, but in reality they're not. They say it. It's all lip service. You can go down, scroll down, inshallah. يخادعون الله والذين آمنوا وما يخدعون إلا أنفسهم وما يشعرون. That they seek to deceive, they want to deceive Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Can anybody really deceive Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Nobody can deceive Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَالَّذِينَ آمَنُوا. So if you just stay on this. وَالَّذِينَ آمَنُوا. And those who believe. So they think they're deceiving Allah and the believers. وَمَا يَخْدَعُونَ. That they are not really deceiving anyone. They're not deceiving Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, nor are they deceiving the Muslims. إِلَّا أَنفُسَهُمْ وَمَا يَشْعُرُونَ. Except for themselves. They don't even realize it. They're not aware that they are that they're not really in reality deceiving anyone. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if we go into the next ayah, why? فِي قُلُوبِهِمْ مَرَض. That in their hearts is a disease, there's an illness. فَزَادَهُمُ اللَّهُ مَرَضًا. Right? So Allah increased them in disease. وَلَهُمْ, if you carry on just a bit more, وَلَهُمْ عَذَابٌ أَلِيمٌ بِمَا كَانُوا يَكْذِبُونَ. For them is a painful punishment. Right? Alim, there's a painful punishment. For the kuffar, we said there was a great punishment. For the munafiq, there's a painful punishment. As we mentioned, إِنَّ الْمُنَافِقِينَ فِي الدَّرْكِ الْأَسْفَلِ. They will be in the lowest part of Jahannam. The base of the fire is the hottest. They will have the most painful punishment. بِمَا كَانُوا يَكْذِبُونَ. Why? Because they lied. They used to lie. The reason why Surah Baqarah and these verses were revealed is because the likes of Ibn Salul, the chief of the Munafiqun, they were people, and his followers and his friends, his allies. They were people who said, what, we are with you, Ya Rasulullah. They said to the Sahaba, we believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we believe in the messenger, we believe in this message, right? We believe in the message, right? But in reality, in their hearts, what it was, فَزَادَهُمُ اللَّهُ مَرَضًا فِي قُلُوبِهِمْ مَرَض. They had a disease in the heart. What does it mean by marad? Right? It's not a physical illness. It's not a physical illness of the heart, of the body. It is a spiritual illness. What is that spiritual illness? May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala save us. It is doubt. Right? So keep a note of this. Keep a note of this. What is it? What does it mean by marad? Disease here in the heart means spiritual illness, which means doubt. They doubted Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They doubted the message of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They doubted the message of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Now, when the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam and the companions, when they left Mecca, right, and they reached Medina, right? Why did they go to Medina in the first place? What was the reason? Persecution. So and then when they went to Medina, they knew that there's a setup. There's Muslims there, the people who visited for Hajj, and so the Aus and the Khazraj said that, Ya Rasul, we will receive you, and you can freely practice your religion. However, the test did not stop there. 10 years in Medina, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was in Medina, right? 10 years, but the trials and tribulation did not stop there. In fact, you can say it was worse, right? Why? Because when the Prophet ﷺ and the Sahaba, the Muslims, when they left Mecca, now they've gone to a new place. There's uncertainty about this group of people. What kind of uncertainty could there be? If you go back to the Surah, we mentioned this. What kind of uncertainty do you think there would be around these new people? Sorry? So can you say that again? Can they trust him? That's one thing. Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Anything else? Right. So those people, and there's also, by the way, when the Prophet ﷺ and the Sahaba, when they went to Medina, they received the Jews there as well. Okay. So there was some people, right, even from the Bani Israel, from the Israelites as well, who also were part of these people. Yeah, Jihad?
Was it that Jews stopped?
That's one thing. But why do you think that the likes of Ibn Salul and his allies, why do you think they were people who said that they believed, but in reality they didn't believe? Yes, of course. So they had that, they didn't basically trust in the tawakkul of in basically the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If the Muslims win, right, if the Muslims win, then they can stay with the Muslims. If the Muslim, because the Muslims were still under attack, right? And if they lost, right, they can easily just go to the disbelievers. Say, no, I'm with you. Right, and we will understand this in a bit as well, inshallah. So if you can carry on. وَإِذَا قِيلَ لَهُمْ لَا تُفْسِدُوا فِي الْأَرْضِ. Right, when it's said to them, وَإِذَا قِيلَ لَهُمْ لَا تُفْسِدُوا فِي الْأَرْضِ, do not spread corruption, right, on earth. قَالُوا إِنَّمَا نَحْنُ مُصْلِحُونَ. What do they say? They say we are reformers, we are peacemakers. What does it mean by corruption? لَا تُفْسِدُوا فِي الْأَرْضِ. Right, one of the interpretation is that they were disobedient towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is the highest level of corruption. Is that understood? Highest level of corruption is to actually disobey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Why? Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has blessed us. For example, these hands that we feel with, these eyes that we see with, right? All these blessings, all the ni'mat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah has blessed us, but instead you use it in the disobedience of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is a high level of corruption. There's a high level of corruption. Imagine, these earthquakes that are happening right now. The earth is, imagine this, really picture this in your minds. The earth is witness to our actions. Right? It's witness to our actions. Every single day the earth calls out to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Right? It calls out to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Ya Allah, give me permission to swallow this person. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, no, that this is my servant. If it was your servant, then you do as you wish. But this is my servant. This is the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Imagine this is what the earth is saying to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because of the corruption. Right? And they say now we're peacemakers. They think they're doing something good, and we'll understand this. We'll go through the translation, inshallah. Ala innahum. If you can go to the next one. If go up. I've got the. All right. Ala innahum humul mufsidun. Right? Beware, indeed, in innahum humul mufsidun. They are the ones who spread corruption. Right? وَلَكِنْ لَا يَشْعُرُونَ. They do not realize it. وَإِذَا قِيلَ لَهُمْ آمِنُوا كَمَا آمَنَ النَّاسُ قَالُوا أَنُؤْمِنُ كَمَا آمَنَ السُّفَهَاءُ أَلَا إِنَّهُمْ هُمُ السُّفَهَاءُ وَلَكِنْ لَا يَعْلَمُونَ. Right? And when it is said to them, believe, right? كَمَا آمَنَ النَّاسُ, right? As believed by the people, right? قَالُوا أَنُؤْمِنُ كَمَا آمَنَ السُّفَهَاءُ. Should we believe as the fools? Meaning those people who are poor. So they would regard those people who are poor as fools because they didn't have anything. They thought maybe, right, because they were poor, that's why they accepted Islam. The likes of, for example, who were the poor Sahabi? For example, like Bilal radiallahu anhu, Suhail al-Rumi, right? There were certain Sahabi who were really poor. Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu. They thought that, hang on, these guys, they're fools, they're the poor ones, that's why they're believing. So if you look in the times of the Anbiya, they would always say that it was always the poor people who would accept Islam. Right? They would accept Islam, and those people who were the chiefs, they were the arrogant ones. So people would think that if the rich ones, they're not accepting Islam. Right? It's only the poor ones. This deen must be just for the fools. Those people who are, as it's mentioned in Tafseer, they were naqis al-aql, that they were deficient in their intelligence. Right? ألا إنهم. Indeed, beware. Right? When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says Allah, it's telling us to beware, be alert. Right? ألا إنهم هم السفهاء. Right? Indeed, they are themselves. They themselves are the fools. Because they think, as we mentioned before, يخادعون Allah, they think that they are deceiving Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. However, they are the fools in reality, because they are only deceiving themselves. وَلَكِنْ لَا يَعْلَمُونَ. They don't even know about it. وَإِذَا لَقُوا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا قَالُوا آمَنَّا. This is the munafiqeen. This is the real description. What do they do? وَإِذَا لَقُوا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا. And when they meet, right, those الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا, those people who believe. So the munafiqun, those people, these group of people, when they go to the believers, right, when they go to the believers, they say, قَالُوا آمَنَّا. We say, do you know what? We believe. We're with you. Right? We're with you. وَإِذَا خَلَوْا إِلَى شَيَاطِينِهِمْ. However, when they are alone with their shayateen, with their evil ones, basically the kuffar, the disbelievers, those people who do not believe, those people who are plotting against Islam, قَالُوا إِنَّا مَعَكُمْ. You know what? I'm with you. I'm with you guys actually. I'm just giving you some information. Right? I'm just giving you information. إِنَّمَا نَحْنُ مُسْتَهْزِئُونَ. Right? Only we just people who are just taking the mick out of them. Isn't that taking the mick? Imagine you had a group of people, right? And it happens, you see in society, we see this. For example, in businesses, yeah? Now, if one guy, he goes to a takeaway, let's just say. Right? He goes to a takeaway. I don't know why we're talking about food, that's the first thing that comes to your mind. Right? He goes to a takeaway and they're selling fried chicken, whatever it is. Right? Or let's say the spicy fried chicken war, yeah? Right? And then, I'm not going to give examples of fried chicken, yeah? Because, there's different fried chickens, right? Everybody likes a spicy burger, right? We're all from Manchester, we all like a spicy chicken burger, whether it's from Miami's, whether it's from Sheikh B's or Rocco's, whatever it is, yeah? One guy goes to one takeaway and he goes, your burger's banging, yo. Right? And then he says, nah, I'm with you, and then afterwards what happens is, the guy goes to another takeaway, another fried chicken shop, and he says, do you know what? Their burger's dead, yo. Right? Do you have any respect for that person? He's just taking the mick. He just wants his discount. Do you understand what I'm saying? The guy just wants he just wants that bit of extra fries or extra wings that he wants. Right? And this is what happens. This is a trait of nifaq. Right? But this is on a high level. These people, what they used to do is, they used to say to the Muslims, the mu'min, the believers, that we are with you. What did we say before? Why did they do this? It's because they thought that just in case the Muslims win, they can be with the Muslims. When they're with the opposition, the enemies, they say, you know what? They're plotting this, they're plotting that. The Muslims, they've got this plan going on. Twofaced. This is a form of nifaq, of hypocrisy. Okay, and we'll summarize everything, inshallah, at the end of it. So do you understand what it means? This is the main bit of the munafiqeen. This is the main characteristic. This is what they used to do. However, they think they're taking the mick, right? Allahu yastahzi'u bihim. Allah is the one who mocks them, right? And mocking it's not a quality of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The reason why it's saying mocking or istihza is to understand this word. Allah doesn't mock anybody. It's a very low thing anyway. Just to understand this, Allah thinks low of these people. These people are unholy, right? وَيَمُدُّهُمْ. And you know what? He prolongs them. He lets them do it. Let them do what they want. فِي طُغْيَانِهِمْ. In their transgression, in their enmity, in their sin. Let them do as they wish, because they've had this doubt in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in the message of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Let them carry on. Let them carry on. يَعْمَهُونَ وَفِي طُغْيَانِهِمْ يَعْمَهُونَ. They're going to be in their transgression, in their sin, in their enmity. they wander blindly without knowing anything, right? They think they're the ones on top. They think they know it all. But in reality, they're the fools. They're the ones who are being mocked. Okay? أولئك الذين اشتروا الضلالة بالهدى. Right? Those, right? الذين are the ones who اشتروا. They bought, they purchased. Right? This is what it is. It's like a transaction. الضلالة أولئك الذين اشتروا الضلالة بالهدى. Okay? So they purchased, they traded loss and going astray for the guidance bil huda. They could have stayed with the Muslims, but they had this doubt in their heart, right? Originally they said we believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but then they realized, you know what, we don't know what's going to happen with this. They had shak, they had doubt. فما ربحت تجارتهم. So not rabihat, they profited from their business, from their trade, their commerce. وما كانوا مهتدين, and they were not from the guided one. Okay, so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala describes it as a business transaction, because this is what they did, right? This is what they did. They literally traded guidance. Previously they believed in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They said that we believe, but they didn't have this firm belief. And this is why it's so important, my dear respected brothers, that we don't just say that we believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We have to believe it in our hearts. We have to have it in our hearts. Now, just to understand Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Hafiz Zayd, how long have we got left? 10. Okay. So now going on to the examples that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving us, right? Just to visualize this. Okay. So we understand the description of them. What's one of the descriptions, guys? Yeah, who are the munafiq? What did they say? From the very beginning, what did we say? That they say they believe, but in reality, they don't believe, yeah? Right? In reality, they don't believe, okay? And what did they used to do? At the time of the Prophet ﷺ, what did they do? What was the action that they did? When they're alone when they're with the believers, what did they say? We believe, right? And when they were with the shayateen, with the enemies, yeah, and that instead we are with you. We're boys. We're just taking the mick out of them. Don't worry, I'll let you know what's going on, right? Do you know when people say you're a snake, right? It's one of the lowest things, one of the worst things that somebody can say to you, right? This is why the munafiqun, they're the lowest. They were just snakes, right? And now Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given examples within the Quran itself, just to make us visualize this. مثلهم, the example, مثلهم كمثل الذي استوقد نارا. Okay, the example, كمثل, right, is like the example الذي استوقد, right? Those people who light a fire, استوقد نارا. فلما أضاءت ما حوله, right? Then when it's lighted, when this fire is like أضاءت, when it's lighted, referring to the fire, when this fire is ignited, it's lighted. ما حوله, its surroundings, right? So when you light a fire, its surroundings light up, right? A fire, when the light, or any light, if you look at this light bulb, it just doesn't stay in one place now, does it? It distributes the light. Fire, same thing, it distributes the light, okay? ذهب الله بنورهم, right? Allah took away their light, بنورهم وتركهم, right? And left them في ظلمات لا يبصرون, right? Allah took away their guidance. Light is a form of guidance. Light means the guidance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah took away from it. They had it in the first place. As we mentioned, what did they say? We believe. They ignited the fire. They believed for a bit, and Allah took it away from them because of that doubt. Yeah, they had that doubt, and Allah took it away from them. They didn't address it. We have doubts, right? These things are normal, right? Every person will have doubt. Somewhere in their life, they will have doubt. They're gonna have questions. But if you don't address it, if you don't work on it, right, then you're gonna just carry on. these people, they didn't do anything about it. They just doubted. They didn't trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala took the light away. And they were, Allah took away their light. وَتَرَكَهُمْ, and He left them in their darkness. فِي ظُلُمَاتٍ, in loss. Right? When it's dark, you can't see anything. Right? لَا يُبْصِرُونَ, and they cannot see. Right? This is you can say, a deeper description of Him. Right? Summun bukmun umyun. Right? What are they? They are deaf, dumb, and blind. Deaf from listening to anything good. Their hearts are sealed. They don't want to listen to anything good. Bukmun, they're dumb. They don't want to understand anything. They don't want to hear anything. Right? They don't want to understand. They're saying, la la la, blah blah. You know, some people do that. They don't want to listen. Whatever you want to say. Umyun, they're blind from the light. Right? They're blind from the, from guidance. They are blinded. They don't know. They don't know where they're gonna go. Yes, they are left astray. For whom la yarjun, they will not return because Allah has sealed their hearts. Right? They have sealed their hearts because they are of their lack of trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. أو كصيب, another example. Or they're like a rainstorm. أو كصيب من السماء فيه ظلمات ورعد وبرق. Yeah? Or كصيب, right? They're like a rainstorm. They're like the rain, right? من السماء, from the sky. Right? So visualize. So the first example was the fire, which is lighted, right? That was the first example. Now this is another example of a rainstorm coming from the sky. من السماء فيه ظلمات, and there's darkness. ورعد وبرق. Right? And there's thunder, there's lightning. يجعلون أصابعهم في آذانهم من الصواعق حذر الموت. Right? What did they do? يجعلون أصابعهم. They start putting their fingers في آذانهم, in their ears. من الصواعق. Right? From, they can hear all the thunder or the lightning is happening around them. But instead they don't want to believe in it. Sometimes when we're scared of something, we try to block everything out, yeah? So imagine it's thundering and then they put in their eye and they're like, oh no, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear anything. Sometimes the reality, when somebody wants to say the reality and it hurts, people say, la la la, I don't want to hear, I don't listen to it, forget it, whatever it is. Or even it happens to us, sometimes when, for example, somebody has said something about our family, something that's, a tragedy. You don't want to listen, you just don't want to hear it at times, right? Or sometimes, like, when your child is in trouble and somebody tells you, I don't want to hear it, forget it, like that. So from the reality, basically. حذر الموت, because of death, they fear death, right? والله محيط بالكافرين. Allah, and Allah muhit, right? He encompasses. He's the one who encompasses the disbelievers, right? He surrounds everything. He knows everything. يكاد, and this is the last example and we'll finish inshallah. يكاد البرق يخطف أبصارهم. That almost the lightning of barq, يخطف أبصارهم, it snatches away their sight. كلما أضاء لهم مشوا فيه. Whenever it flashes, so when this lightning, when it flashes, لهم مشوا فيه, so when this lightning flashes for them, a bit of light. فيه وإذا أظلم عليهم قاموا. And when darkness, when it's upon them, when there's darkness, قاموا, they just stand there. So the light's flashing, and all of a sudden it's darkness. So because of that light flashing, what do? They walk a bit, because they've got a bit of thinking, they've got a bit of guidance, and that's it. The lights are out, they've lost hope, they're just going to stand in one place. You understand? وَلَوْ شَاءَ اللَّهُ لَذَهَبَ بِسَمْعِهِمْ وَبَصَارِهِمْ. And if Allah really willed, because of their transgression, because of their disbelief and the trouble that they're causing, right? Allah could take لَذَهَبَ بِسَمْعِهِمْ. He could take away their hearing, وَأَبَصَارِهِمْ, and their sight. Allah is reminding them that, look here, we could have taken away your all these ability to hear and see, right? But Allah didn't do that. Allah didn't do that. Allah can do that easily. Because of your sin, could these eyes that we see with, did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us blind? Allah can easily do that. With these ears that we hear with, when we listen to the wrong things, to haram, did Allah make us deaf? You understand? So Allah is reminding them, Inna Allah ala kulli shayin qadir, because indeed Allah has power over everything. So let's go, Inna Allah, always remember this, Inna Allah, indeed Allah, ala kulli shay, upon everything, right? All powerful. He has ability, He has power, might over everything. So never ever think, and this is a lesson for us all, my dear respected brothers, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He saves us from nifaq, from hypocrisy. Right? And one of the signs of the hypocrite are three. Of the munafiq is three. وَإِذَا حَدَّثَ كَذَبَ. When he speaks, he lies. When he speaks, he lies. This is one of the signs. وَإِذَا وَعَدَ أَخْلَفَ. When he makes a promise, he breaks it. وَإِذَا تُمِنَ خَانَ. When he is entrusted, he breaks that trust. Cheats. So the first thing is what? He's a liar. When he speaks, he lies. Second thing is, when he makes a promise, what? He breaks it. And when he's entrusted, he cheats. He's not supposed to be that. He's not someone that's supposed to be trusted. So this is the signs of the munafiq. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala save us from it, because the munafiqeen, where will they end up? The deepest part of it. And who are the munafiqeen? What are the descriptions? They say they believe. In reality, they don't believe. They were the people who caused the most problems to the Islamic empire, to the Muslims at large. They were the ones, and we'll quickly refresh next week about certain things that happened in history as well. Brother, did you want to ask a question? Yes, inshallah, we'll go into next week. Inshallah, remind me. We will, because time's running out. Pizzas are here. Everybody's getting hungry. So inshallah, we can talk about that. Jazakumullah khair. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك. جزاكم الله خيرا. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. They were hard. I don't even know.